Hello everyone, welcome to Nilanjana's exclusive English lessons. Today I'm introducing the poem Father Returning Home, written by Dilip Chitre. He is a Marathi writer, but this is a translation in English. This poem has been introduced in your modern English curriculum, but this poem was already there in the HSC Maharashtra board. Okay, so this is a very nice poem, a very reflective poem written in free verse. Let's begin. My father travels on the late evening train, standing among silent commuters in the yellow light. Suburbs slide past his unseeing eyes. His shirt and pants are soggy, and his black raincoat, stained with mud, and his bag stuffed with books, is falling apart. Now, before I get into the poem talks about distancing of family members in a modern society. In a modern society, or rather in an urban setting, which means like when we live in a city, what happens is often the family members are alienated, distanced from one another. How is that possible? Because everybody is busy in their own world. The warmth, the comfort of home is missing. The poet highlights this theme. On the other hand, he also talks about the elderly family members who often feel lonely and their children do not have the time to talk to them, sit with them, discuss the daily family matters, because they feel that the father or the mother has become old, and at times they even abandon them. In this case, there's no question of abandonment, but of course the father is extremely lonely. Parents and children alienated from one another. So there's a lot of distance between the parents and children. As a father, he's lonely. Okay, and the main theme of the poem is that the father travels every day from work back to his home, and he travels a lot. He travels to the city. See, this is a picture of a typical life in Mumbai, a city, a busy city like Mumbai, where most of the people they travel by train, they travel long distances, they travel to the city for work, but then when they come back, they have to come back to the suburbs. Suburb is not a part of the main city, a little far away from the main city. The father travels on the late evening train. Now, why father? Why do you think the poet has spoken about father? Because father is a man who works hard to meet the demands of the family. He's a breadwinner. He's a breadwinner of the family. He travels on the late evening train. Late evening train means, of course, he's quite late while returning. He works very hard. Therefore, he gets late. It's not an easy job. Standing among silent commuters in the yellow light. Now, when he's standing inside the train, he is surrounded with silent commuters. Commuters are the people who are also traveling with him. They are also traveling back home, but they are all silent. So, what is the reason of this silence? They are fatigued, they're exhausted. And actually, it's very real. If you board an evening train, and okay, when you're coming back from Mumbai to the suburbs, you will realize that there are many people, it's completely crowded, but people are all silent because they're too tired to talk. Standing in the yellow light. Now, yellow light signifies the typical Indian trains which has this kind of a yellow light. Suburbs slide past his unseeing eyes. So, the suburbs slide past. The father is on a train, and the suburbs, as I said, they are residential areas outside a city. They pass by the window, but he sees them with his unseeing eyes. Means he doesn't really see them. He's too tired to even notice. He's exhausted, he's fatigued. Also, he sees the same view every day, so therefore, there's nothing much to see. It also suggests monotony, the same view every day. His shirt and pants are soggy, and his black raincoat, stained with mud, and his bag stuffed with books, is falling apart. So he is wearing a shirt which is completely soggy. Soggy, why? Because it's a humid monsoon weather. His black raincoat is stained with mud. This shows that his work was, of course, not easy. Probably he doesn't work in the comfort of an office where he has to sit by the chair in an AC room. So his work requires to travel, and it denotes a very hard and a difficult life. His shirt and pants are soggy with from humid and from sweat. There's a lot of sweat, humidity in the atmosphere. Now, yes, what is humid? Humid means there's a lot of water vapor in the atmosphere, which makes the weather very sticky and soggy. All right. So, yeah, if you're looking for words, vocabulary, there's a video which I have made describing the words for summer. You can check out the video. I will share the link in the description box. His bag stuffed with books. Probably he loves to read, but that is falling apart. He's too exhausted to even, take care of it. His eyes dimmed with age. We already know that he's old. He's an elderly person. Fade homeward through the humid monsoon night. His eyes are dim, of course, dimmed by age. With age, his vision has faded, but he also has fading hope or purpose. That means he lives in a life where there is no hope left. So basically, he lives in a very dull, monotonous, gray world. And that's the world that even waits back for him back at home. Now I can see him getting off the train like a word dropped from a long sentence. Now, the speaker observes his father from a distance. I is the speaker who can see his father getting off the train. Now, his station has arrived. Now, he gets off the train. But when he gets off the train, he's like compared to a word dropped from a long sentence. When you belong to a long sentence, there's a sense of belonging, there's a sense of connection. But you are just like a word who has been dropped. Dropped here refers to a disconnect, forgotten, ignored. So he is like a word who has been dropped from a long sentence. That means he's very lonely. There's no sense of belonging in his life. And he has been forgotten. He has been ignored. Like you simply drop a word. He hurries across the length of the grey platform. So he walks fast because he is eager to go home. And the poet also talks about the kind of world, the urban world, which is symbolized through this grey platform, a grey world. A grey world refers to a world which is very dull, monotonous. There's no brightness in that world. So it's not just the color grey, but the grey world in general, a dark, dim world. He crosses the railway line, enters the lane. His chappals are sticky with mud. Again, it talks about the kind of life that he leads, a life of exhaustion, hard work. It's also a monsoon sticky weather of Mumbai. So here you can see that the when he travels during this time, when you travel by a train, it's really a, I would say, a burdensome task. Okay, so his chappals are sticky with mud, but he hurries forward. He tries to go home fast, home again. But when he comes home, I see him drinking weak tea, eating a stale chapati, reading a book. Again, these three activities: drinking weak tea. What is weak tea? It's not tea something which is like, hot and freshly made. No, it's a very weak tea. And then there's no warm food offered to him. He eats a stale chapati. Probably there's a lot of disconnect at home. There's nobody to give him, at least sit with him and even talk to him. So how does he spend his time? Reading a book. That's just a way to show that he's really lonely. He goes into the toilet to contemplate man's estrangement from a man-made world. So why does he go into the toilet? Now the word toilet here refers to, again, a place of his privacy. It's a place where he contemplates, where he thinks. Again, it's a dark space. There are various imageries in the poem. So toilet over here is also an imagery. And what does what does he do over there? He reflects on man's estrangement from a man-made world. So man's estrangement means man's alienation, man's separation from a man-made world, a world which has been made by man, like by humanity, but then you are no longer a part of it. You're estranged from that world. So he goes into the toilet to contemplate, reflect on man's estrangement. The father is surrounded by people, but then he is profoundly alone, lonely. Coming out, he trembles at the sink, the cold water running over his brown hands. He trembles at the sink because of his old age. And the water is very cold. Again, there is lack of warmth. The world is cold, indifferent to him, and the water runs over his brown hands. His hands have become tanned due to exposure to sun for a long period of time. He works hard, he's the breadwinner, he meets the demands of the family, so therefore his life has not been easy. His hands have turned brown. A few droplets cling to the graying hairs on his wrist. Graying hairs refers to his old age. His sullen children have often refused to share jokes and secrets with him. So his sullen children, his dull children refers to children who have been indifferent to him. They deliberately exclude him. They don't make him a part of their life. Again, the theme of alienation, isolation. They have refused to share jokes and secrets with him. Jokes are moments of happiness which you share with someone and you share the happiness. So he is not a part of their jokes. They don't share their joys with him. So sharing jokes means sharing joy. Secrets. Why they don't share the secrets? Because they don't trust the father. So jokes and secrets refers to the trust, the joy. These things are missing in the relation. So, what is the father going to do now? He will now go to sleep listening to the static on the radio. Static on the radio means when the radio doesn't tune properly, there's a strange noise. I'm sure most of you know what kind of a noise I'm referring to. If you're not able to tune into your FM, you don't get the exact station that you're looking for to listen to some nice music. So there's a crackling noise that you hear when a radio isn't tuned properly. That's the noise that he hears. So again, he's alone. This means he's alone, he's lonely, and then he's somewhat trying to fill up the loneliness with some strange meaningless noise. The static also refers to the connection between his life and the life of his children. So that connection is again broken. Because when you're not able to connect, then you hear this strange crackling noise. He's going to dream of his ancestors and grandchildren. So he's going to dream about his past. He's going to dream about his future. Why? Because his present life is hopeless. There's no joy in his present life. So the way he gathers comfort is by dreaming about his past, his ancestors, his life, which was probably better there at that time. And also, he hopes for a nice life, a future life with his grandchildren, where probably he doesn't have to feel this kind of loneliness. Thinking of nomads entering a subcontinent through a narrow pass. Now, there's a lot of meaning in the last line. So, why does he think of nomads? Nomads are the ancient travelers. Okay, so the ancient travelers refers to our ancestors centuries ago when they entered, when they migrated. Okay. Right now, his world has shrunk to a daily routine. And this is what he dreams about. So, this is the explanation of the poem. Finally, the moral and the message that the poet wants to give is that we need to have empathy for our elderly people in the society. We need to think about our parents, especially our father. Of course, we glorify mothers a lot. Mothers are also doing a great job, but we often tend to ignore the fathers. The poem is written about a father who is a breadwinner of the family, a father who works a lot to meet the demands of his wife, of his children, and he does it silently. It's a poem about it's a poem about silent contribution by a father. He doesn't speak, he doesn't boast, he doesn't glorify. But as a child, you need to understand that your father is working really hard and you need to have empathy for that. You need to stand by his side, you need to talk to him, you need to give him comfort when he comes home, a smile, sit with him and have a chat. That means a lot. So I hope you have enjoyed the poem, and I want to know your feedback. Share your comments in the feedback. Thank you and have a beautiful day ahead.